Okay for an old guy. It always makes me feel joyful this time of the year that I was able to witness some of this, and I was able to speak with the spokesman, actually the leader of the uprising.
Actually, 5 years ago, while I editing your interview video myself, I was deeply moved.
Well, I don't deserve any praise. It's your patriots who were martyrs. People like Mr. Yoon deserve the praise. I was just doing my job as a reporter, and I'm very happy that I was there. It's one of the most important moments of my entire professional career, and I wouldn't take anything for it. It's wonderful that I feel it was wonderful for me that I was able to be there and see how well the South Koreans handled it. I had been covering your country for a couple of years, since 1977, and this was a very moving press conference. I said, what are you going to do? Are you going to surrender? He said, no, we will fight to the last man. I felt that he knew he was going to die. This was May 26th. We drove down from Seoul. Of course, had to go through some back roads to get into Gwangju. And when I got there, I found, of course, lots of dead people, lots of unhappy people, mourners. There were about 15 unclaimed bodies outside the Tochang in the breezeway. There were so many bodies over in the Y, with people, families mourning for them. And of course, it was a very sad situation. I of course did not see any fighting. There was no fighting going on the 26th when I got there. The highlight of the day was our press conference with the spokesman. We did not have his name. He did not give us his name. I didn't know his name until 1993. So for 13 years, I had no idea what the name of this gentleman was. And this was a very moving press conference. There were several correspondents there, but he picked me and kept his eyes on me the whole time. He wanted to give me a message somehow. So it was quite a personal exchange, even though we were surrounded by people. And he told me about how they had explosives. They were ready to hold off the troops. I asked the question that obviously the troops, when they come back in, are far stronger than you. So they're going to beat you. So what are you going to do? Are you going to surrender? He said, no, we will fight to the last man. And he looked at me very intently, and I felt that he knew he was going to die. That was my feeling, seeing that. So it was moving to see someone with that kind of will and courage. I had to go back to Seoul that evening to file I was riding with another correspondent in his rented car, so I could not choose to stay. If I could have chosen, I would have stayed to see what happened. So I went back to Seoul. I wrote a story about that press conference. In the press conference, he had asked us to convey to the ambassador a plea for U.S. help. And I did not contact the ambassador personally, but I put that into my story, which I wrote that evening in Seoul, and I sent it off from the hotel by telex to Baltimore. And when I woke up later, I discovered that, of course, the Tochang the city had been retaken. A couple of protesters or insurrectionists had been killed. Then I heard the number was higher. I spoke to Terry, my friend from the Associated Press. He said he had counted the number of dead, and it was higher than that. And he said among them was the spokesman. The spokesman had been found dead in front of his office in the hallway with a burned drape around him. We later learned that someone had tried to put out the fire by wrapping him in the drape and trying to save him, but it was unsuccessful. He had been shot. I was very upset to see this brave man die and his brave friends with him. So I put a lot of passion into that story. I sent it, and in the evening, after I'd finished my work, I went out drinking with my fellow correspondents in Seoul, and I got extremely drunk, maybe as drunk as I've ever been in my life. I was upset. I was stumbling from bar to bar, screaming about the murderer, Chun Du-hwan, and I was really, really quite upset. And that's the end of the day. I was there again for the conclusion of the democratization movement, and I'm happy to see that happening. South Korea used the event well in terms of a symbol that they could use to bring democratization. The spokesman was a kind of a ghost. He haunted me. I kept wondering, who was he? Who was this guy? You could not read his name in the news media in those days. It was not printed. He moved me so deeply, and I feel like my life is connected with his in some very important way. I was sitting in the Foreign Correspondents Club in Seoul in 1993, and I had a call from a man named Eugene Saw. Eugene Saw said he wanted to meet me. So I said, okay. So he came and met me. He said he'd been wanting to meet me ever since 1980. He just wanted to thank me for my passionate article. By the way, what was the name of that man? And he said, Yoon Sang-won. He said, I know his family and his friends down in Gwangju. Would you like to go and meet them? I said, yes. So we went down there and spent a night or two. I met the family, I met the friends, I met the old comrades. I went to the cemetery and paid my respects.
How have you been, Mr. Martin?
Okay for an old guy. I'm still working every day and in the news business. I used to be a reporter, a little bit old to be reporting now. I'm 83. I'm an editor now, and I sit at a desk all day long and edit other people's articles. And we'll keep doing that as long as I can. But anyway, I would still like to get back to Korea soon. So I'll try and look forward to meeting you then, Mr. Na.
Actually, 5 years ago, while I editing your interview video myself, I was deeply moved. I can't respect you for revealing the truth to the world, even in dangerous circumstances.
Well, I don't deserve any praise. It's your patriots who were martyrs. People like Mr. Yoon deserve the praise. I was just doing my job as a reporter, and I'm very happy that I was there. It's one of the most important moments of my entire professional career, and I wouldn't take anything for it. It's wonderful that I feel that it was wonderful for me that I was able to be there and see how well the South Koreans handled it.
Tomorrow is the 46th anniversary of the movement. What would you like to say to Korean people?
It always makes me feel joyful this time of the year that is once again that is a sign that Korea's democracy is in some ways at least is thriving. Well, I would like to say please don't listen to the extremists on either the right who are trying to interpret this event for their political advantage. I was there. I was able to witness some of this, and I was able to speak with the spokesman, actually the leader of the uprising. So I say, please celebrate what your own countrymen did to correct some serious political problems and get you on the road to Korean democracy. That was really a wonderful historical moment. And the whole country, you should be congratulating yourselves for that.